Many people are intimidated upon their first visit to a racetrack, especially when it comes to making a bet. For the novice, there are a few things to keep in mind. Always visit the mutual windows early. If you need to ask a question, that's the time to do it before last-minute bettors are in long lines. Also, if a mistake has been made on your ticket or you've made a mistake in placing your wager, the clerk may be able to cancel your bet and reissue another. Most tracks, however, will not issue corrected wagers in the last few minutes before a race as a courtesy to the other bettors, and will, of course, never issue a corrected ticket after a race has begun. Also, it's important to realize that in horse racing, you're betting against all the other fans and not against the track or horse owners. Wagers are calculated and paid based upon the percentage bet on each horse or combination, and the track neither wins nor loses when you win or lose, but simply holds and distributes the wagers and takes a percentage for expenses, purses, and taxes. Perhaps the best thing, however, about wagering on a horse race is that you have many wagering options, and you'll have the excitement of testing your handicapping skill against every other fan. And since higher payoffs usually come for wagers more difficult to select, the rewards can match the risk. The terms win, place, and show don't always mean first, second, and third. If you bet to win, you collect only if your horse wins. But if you bet to place, you'll win the amount posted in the place column when the payoffs are shown. And if you bet to show, you'll win if your horse finishes first, second, or third and receive the show price that's posted after the race. Place payoffs are almost always smaller than win payoffs and larger than show payoffs. This is because the money wagered to place is split between the top two finishers instead of only one horse, the winner. And also, show payoffs are the smallest because they must be split between three horses instead of two or one. Note, too, that dead heats, where two horses cannot be separated at the finish line by the photo finish camera, may cause some extra payoffs. If you have a question, take your ticket to any window and a mutual clerk will help you. The Daily Double requires you to select the winner of two consecutive races, usually the first two races on the card. If either of your selections does not win, you lose. But if they both win, you win. Tracks, recognizing the popularity of the Daily Double, have added second or third pairs of races designated as Daily Double races, and some tracks now even offer the Daily Double on every pair of consecutive races, meaning more of a good thing every day at the track. Also, many tracks offer a pick three wager, which is sort of like a Daily Double plus one, picking the winners of three consecutive races. Payoffs are a bit bigger than the Daily Double, and the wager a race more difficult to solve. One of the more popular wagers involving more than one horse, the kind bettors call exotic wagers, is one combining two horses in the same race, the exacta or perfecta. Both names are interchangeable. To win this wager, you're going to have to select the top two finishers in the race. Thus, you'll have to be exact or perfect in your handicapping to collect. Since there are many possible combinations of horses that could finish 1-2 in a race, the chance of picking an exacta is less than simply picking a winner, but the payoff you'll get for picking the winner is going to be potentially quite handsome. Note that at most tracks there will be an exacta or perfecta offered on every race, testimony to the wager's popularity. Perhaps the single most popular wager at any racetrack in North America is the trifecta, a wager difficult to win but far from impossible, and one that offers the potential for some of the greatest payoffs at any track. To win the trifecta, you have to pick the top three finishers in one race. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Of course, it may not be as simple as that, but trifecta payoffs usually average well over $100 for every $2 bet, far better odds than a 10 million to 1 lottery ticket. 2, you'll usually find that the trifecta can be purchased for less than $2. Knowing that success may increase by making more selections and combinations, tracks usually sell trifecta tickets in $1 units to help you cover more combinations. Of course, by betting $1, you'll receive only half of what the $2 bettor gets when he wins, but we know you'll have the same amount of fun. Some tracks offer wagers that ask you to select multiple winners, sometimes in more than one race, something that to the novice appears almost impossible. One example is the superfecta, where you have to select the top 4 finishers in a race. One popular version of such a super exotic wager is the twin trifecta. It asks you to pick the top 3 finishers in a race. Then if you can do that, it asks you to pick the top 3 finishers in yet another race. Another version is the tri-super, where you pick the top 3 finishers and then the top 4 finishers in another race. The biggest of all is the pick 6, where you guessed it, you have to pick the winner of 6 consecutive races. Good luck. Anyone who plays an exotic wager where there are many possible combinations of finishing positions can use 2 strategies to increase the possibility of winning: boxing and wheeling. A box wager includes all the possible orders of finish from among 2 or more starters. In the most simple example, an exacta box of 2 horses who could finish 1-2 or 2-1 would cost $4, $2 for each of the 2 combinations. The amount of the wager increases with the number of horses you'll include and the number of positions you must select, such as 2 positions in an exacta or 3 in a trifecta. Another popular strategy is to wheel a horse. It's where you select one horse and combine it with all the others in a race. You can also part wheel by combining one horse with just a few others, leaving some horses out of your wager. Knowing wheeling and boxing are popular strategies among handicappers, most tracks permit such wagers to be purchased in $1 increments instead of $2. Any clerk will answer your questions about boxing and wheeling and will tell you what your wager will cost.